Rama Rava Kunja Vihare. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihare. Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe. Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe. Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. Jaya Vishpad Paramahamsa Prabhujakacharya Sottara Sata Shri Srimad Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada ki. ISKCON BBT founder Acharya Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki. Jaya Vishpad Paramahamsa Prabhujakacharya Sottara Sata Shri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada ki. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki. Jai Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunath Sad Goswami Prabhugan ke. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ke. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopakupinath Shamakun Radhakun Giri Govardhan ke. Shri Navadvip Mayapur Dham ke. Shri Vrindavan Dham ke. Jagannath Puri Dham ke. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ke. Samaveda Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ke. Gaur Premanande. Our glories to the assembled devotees. Our glories to the assembled devotees. Our glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shishi Guru and Gauranga. Glories to Srila Prabhupada. Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasnaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namane. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Vacharane. Nivishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Desatarane. Hare Krishna. We're getting to hear from Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, chapter 13, text number 18. Of course, the chapter is Brahma stealing the boys and calves. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Tata Krishna Mudam Kartum. Tata Krishna Mudam Kartum. Tanmatrin Nam Chikashya Cha. Tanmatrin Nam Chikashya Cha. Ubayayitam Atmanam. Ubayayitam Atmanam. Chakre Vishva Krid Ishvara. Chakre Vishva Krid Ishvara. Tata Krishna Madam Kartum. Tanmatrin Nam Chikashya Cha. Ubayayitam Atmanam. Chakre Vishva Kridishvara. Tata Krishna Madham Kartum Tanmatrinnam Chikasya Cha Ubhayayitam Atmanam Chakre Vishvakridishvara Tata Krishna Madham Kartum Tanmatrinnam Chikasya Cha Ubayayitam Atmanam Chakre Vishvadgadishvara Tata Krishna Madam Kartum Tanmatrinnam Chakasya Cha Ubayayitam Atmanam Chakre Vishvadgadishvara Tata Krishna Madam Kartum Tanmatrinnam Chikasya Cha Vivayayitam Atmanam Chakre Vishvadgadishvara Tata. Thereafter, Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Mudam, pleasure, Kartum, to create, Tatmatrinam cha, of the mothers of the cowherd boys and calves, Kasya cha, and the pleasure of Brahma, Ubhayayitam, expansion, both as the calves and as the cowherd boys. Atmanam, himself, capital H. Chakre, did, Vishvakrit Ishvaraha. It was not difficult for him, for he's the creator of the whole cosmic manifestation. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. The first word in the verse is tata, which means thereafter. I've been told by one of my Prabhus who's good at this Sanskrit stuff, he said, whenever you hear a verse start out with tata, then it's referring to the previous verse. So we'll go ahead and read the previous verse and then go into today's verse. Text 17. When Krishna was unable to find the calves and their caretakers, the cowherd boys, anywhere in the forest, he could suddenly understand that this was the work of Lord Brahma. Thereafter, just to create pleasure, both for Brahma and for the mothers of the calves and cowherd boys, Krishna, the creator of the entire cosmic manifestation, expanded himself as calves and boys. Please repeat. Thereafter, just to create pleasure, both for Brahma and the mothers of the calves and cowherd boys, Krishna, the creator of the entire cosmic manifestation, expanded himself as calves and boys. Although Brahma was already entangled in bewilderment, he wanted to show his power to the cowherd boys. But after he took away the boys and their calves and returned to his abode, Krishna created further astonishment for Brahma and for the mothers of the boys by establishing the lunch pastimes in the forest again and replacing all the calves and boys just as they had appeared before. According to the Vedas, Ekam Bahusham, the personality of Godhead can become many, many millions upon millions of calves and cowherd boys, as he did to bewilder Brahma more and more. If we could pray to our spiritual masters and divine personalities that we might appreciate and understand a little bit of the transcendental message of this verse and purport. If we could pray together, please. Om Jnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chakshun Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadandikam Vandeham Sri Guru Shiyuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shiva Shakan Vitamscha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nivishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Desatarane Vanchakopatrubhyascha Kripasindubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So this has been a wonderful number of classes that we've heard given. This pastime is extraordinary, as are all of Krishna's pastimes, but I've learned a lot listening to Janani Vas, Pankajangri, Narsingha Swami, Rajaraj, Kanai Prabhu, Padmanayana, Nandavardhana. Who am I leaving out? So many wonderful classes have been here. And following in their footsteps, I'm hoping to just taste a little of the remnants that they've left. I've certainly benefited learning a lot, and I've also come to learn some things about me which relate to this pastime of Lord Brahma. And I'm hoping to speak primarily about Lord Brahma. We know that Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that Krishna's killing of all the demons represent anarthas within our hearts, the hearts of conditioned souls or aspiring devotees. And by hearing these pastimes, these anarthas can be cleansed. Well, Lord Brahma is anything but a demon. He's a wonderful devotee of the Lord. But Lord Krishna has smashed his pride in this pastime. And it's stated by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur that there are three things to be gathered or understood in this pastime. One, he was attached to fruitive activities. Two, he was attached to mental speculation. And three, that he was also attached to the Aishvarya feature of the Supreme Lord. And Krishna in this pastime incredibly, mercifully smashes all three of these things. Now, to start out with, we heard of the other day, Maharaj asked, well, what's the deal with the Madhva Sampradaya? They don't discuss this pastime, Brahma Vimohana Leela. He's the founder Acharya, the guru of our Brahma Madhva Sampradaya. And they don't want to hear that Lord Brahma fell into Maya. How does that sit with them? You know, am I committing blasphemy by discussing his shortcomings? Will I disrespect him by hearing of this reciprocation with Krishna and Vrindavan? Well, out of caution, they don't go there. But we understand that Lord Brahma was the better devotee for having experienced this reciprocation with Krishna. And how many of us can relate with that? We aspire to be a wonderful devotee. I think it was Pankajangri Prabhu who said in class that when he engaged in the creation, having performed his austerity on the lotus coming from Garbhodakshai Vishnu's navel, he prayed for the benediction, please don't let me become proud in the matter of creation. And Lord Krishna said to Tastu, he blessed him in that way. So one might ask, well, what's the deal? He's proud here. He asked and received the benediction. He wouldn't be proud. Well, the thought came to my mind, he's not engaged in the matter of creation in this reciprocation with the Lord. From the get-go, he's bewildered. We understand that Krishna is inconceivable. He will not fit into the tiny box, the confine of our mind or intelligence. It doesn't work that way. I mean, Krishna is the supreme Adi Purusha within whose expansion, Mahavishnu, all the unlimited universes are bouncing around like atoms within his body and come out through the pores of his body when it's time to create, to manifest the creations from the Mahat Tattva, etc. I mean, it is impossible to understand Krishna to any great extent, if for no other reason that his glories, his powers, his qualities, and his loving reciprocations in the pastimes are ever expanding. At the end of the pastime in the prayers, he said, even if one could count all the atoms of the universe, or grains of sand that are on any and all planets, still you couldn't understand your infinite glories, my Lord. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, actually, Sankarshan has counted all the atoms. He knows how many there are. And yet he can't come to the end of the glories of the Lord. He can't fully comprehend Krishna, himself, his source. It doesn't work that way. And we have to accept that if we're going to understand anything about Krishna. So Lord Brahma is bewildered. Who's not going to be bewildered if the Lord does not reveal transcendental knowledge to one? Everyone is, from the smallest ant to Lord Brahma. But there's a verse in the 33rd chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam. That's the chapter of the Rasa Leela. Let's see if I can find it. I sure hope so. Yeah. Nope. Yeah. Taji sam nadoshaya vane sarva bhujoyata. The status of powerful controllers is not harmed by any apparently audacious transgression of morality we may see in them. For they're just like fire which devours everything fed into it and remains unpolluted. That is from 10:33:29. Or to make it very simple in a one-liner, one who is very powerful is not affected by any sinful activity. Now you might say, well, it doesn't seem sinful. In one sense, he was just playing hide and seek with the coward boys. Don't the coward boys and Krishna do that every day? And what's wrong with that? Well, what's wrong is he didn't have the adhikar. He didn't have the qualification to serve Krishna or give Krishna pleasure in that way. In fact, it amazed me the first time I heard a Prabhu share with me, Lord Indra is trying to kill the Vrajvasis in the pastime of Govardhan, the lifting of Govardhan Hill, that offense, and the offense of Brahma stealing the cows, or the calves and the coward boys, which would you think is the worst offense? It turns out the worst of the two is Brahma stealing the cows and cowherd boys because he's separating Krishna from his friends. Indra, even though he's trying to kill the Vrajvasis, what's the result? He brought them all together under Govardhan Hill for 7 days and nights, continuously relishing each other's association. Krishna very readily accepted the prayers and forgave Indra with Lord Brahma. And I wish everybody, the second generation devotees, could see the picture that was in the original Krishna book, where Lord Brahma was bowing, he was bending down at his waist, and he was looking at this little boy, Krishna looking at him with the yogurt fruit in his hands, and it is the most innocent picture. And this is what was totally bewildering to Lord Brahma. This little boy, innocent, precocious, as my Prabhu said, just goofing off with these other little boys. This is my Lord? Yes, it is. And that's what Lord Krishna very expertly, only as the Lord can do, revealed to Lord Brahma in such a way that he would never forget that again. This is my Lord. So a powerful personality like Lord Brahma, it was an offense. It was an offense. But he's done, my gosh, in terms of sin, because the two are different. One time, as it was mentioned, just in a one-liner, beginning of creation, he actually created a daughter and became lusty and chased after her, trying to enjoy with her. How abominable is that? But for such exalted personalities, like Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and other deputed managers of the universal affairs, these things are not like it is for you and I of the human species on the middle planetary system. Lord Brahma, immediately snapping out of it, he cast that body off. We heard that the other day. But one of the things I wanted to touch upon is this verse, Api Chet Sudaracharo Bhajate Mam Ananya Bhak. Some people the Madhvas don't even want to hear about it, but we do hear about it. Shukadeva Goswami has described it in the 10th canto, and it's not our business to cut out a chapter of the Bhagavatam and toss it aside. There's something very important to be learned, or it wouldn't be in the Srimad Bhagavatam. So we don't view Lord Brahma and his shortcomings to us and our frailties, our fall downs, our shortcomings. It's like night and day. The verse that the gopis said, such exalted personalities in their devotional service to the Lord are like fire, and they devour all these sinful activities and any reactions to ashes by the potency of devotional service, by the mercy of the Lord. One time on a morning walk, a devotee was really bewildered, didn't understand this point, and he asked Srila Prabhupada about Lord Brahma being bewildered. And he said, he's a spiritual master. How could he do such things? Doesn't seem like that's a pure devotee. Because back when Srila Prabhupada was present in his Vapu form on the planet, our only conception of Guru was Srila Prabhupada. He was the bona fide spiritual master. And so Srila Prabhupada and his stature, his purity, his empowerment, this is what we thought. This is what Guru means. And you can say, certainly it does. But Srila Prabhupada, when asked that question, he told the devotee, you don't have to be a pure devotee to be a spiritual master. What? But understood in the proper context. One is not a spiritual master if one doesn't represent the Supreme Lord. And Lord Brahma does represent the Supreme Lord. For heaven's sakes, he's our, founder of the Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. He does represent the Lord. And the example he sets when he did create such an offense is so important for us devotees. When he realized by Krishna's grace what had happened, I was such a fool to think I could bewilder Krishna. Question mark, my master, the Lord? He realized he was full. He was very repentant. He was very, very sorry. And he said wonderful prayers in the next chapter, chapter 14. Wonderful, wonderful prayers. Several of them are quoted by Srila Prabhupada often in lectures and purports, etc. And Krishna, in his wonderful way, he heard the prayers of Lord Brahma, but he kind of just shined him on. He just gave him a look. Okay. He didn't give some long, oh, it's no problem. I forgive you. Don't do it again. Nothing like that. He was wanting to get back to play with his boys, take care of the calves. And they're like, whoa. So he was just ready to resume that which Lord Brahma had interrupted by his foolishness and by his pride. And then it doesn't stop there. I think Jananivas Prabhu yesterday gave a one-liner. I had to go outside for a moment, but realizing that he was so proud and he had, done such a grievous offense to the Lord and his associates, he thought, how can I become free of this? How can I protect myself not to fall victim again? He lamented, oh, if I could only be worthy of serving the Lord as a Vrajvasi, as one of his friends and family members. In the prayers we'll hear, he prays to take birth as a bush or a shrub in Vrindavan so that maybe the devotees, when coming by, the Vrajvasis will brush against him and he'll get the dust of their lotus feet. Well, he thought, oh, Krishna's coming again, Lord Chaitanya, very soon. So he came here to Sri Dham Mayapur, just nearby to Antardweep. And he began doing devotional penance, meditating upon the Lord, chanting the Lord's names, Gora Gora, Gora Gora, Gora Gora. And very quickly the Lord appeared from within his heart. He had darshan of Lord Chaitanya in his heart. And then he manifested himself externally and said, what would you like? You've pleased me. And he prayed, my Lord, I'm so fallen. I'm so proud. Please, please allow me to serve you in your next descent as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but please protect me from these shortcomings. This is my desire. And Lord Chaitanya granted him. You'll appear in my pastimes when I come, and you'll be born in a Yavana family. And you'll constantly chant the holy names, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And you'll be known for your humility. Pride, there will not be even a remnant of the fragrance of pride within you. And Lord Brahma was very happy, very pleased. So he set the proper example. It's not like he just tried to sweep it under the rug and forget about it. No, he was aware. I'm an insignificant jiva. I'm a small living entity, and I fell into Maya. I offended the Lord. And he was not duplicitous, trying to put on some false image of being better than what he was, nor on the other side of the coin did he suffer from, what do we call that? Self-esteem, low self-esteem. I'm so fallen. I've committed this offense. No. He didn't let the offense define him in stopping him from devotional service. He continued in his desire to please the Lord in rendering service, and prayed to become better, and prayed to be strong enough never to be victimized again by such foolishness, by such pride. He set a wonderful example for all of us Prabhus, all us devotees. So we can hear this and we can learn. And the pure devotees, they don't mind. Like Srila Prabhupada said, well, he's not a pure devotee. And this is one of the things I've learned, I wanted to share, that You think you get a little something under your belt about Krishna and his potencies, and then right around the corner you learn a little bit something else, and it's like, whoa, well, that doesn't sound like what Srila Prabhupada told me or what I had understood. And I could give several examples, but let's start off with my making mistakes, faulty memory. Yesterday, a wonderful question was asked. Lord Brahma, born out of a lotus flower from the navel of Garbhodakshai Vishnu. Well, Lord Vishnu is completely transcendental, Satchidananda. What about the lotus flower? Isn't that spiritual? And this purport 2 days ago said he wasn't born from a mother or father. That doesn't matter. He is born from a lotus flower, and the lotus flower is material. So it was cute how we try to conceive of these things with our limited intelligence. Was it spiritual from the navel up halfway, or maybe to the flower, or maybe the outer petal? You know, funny. But the fact of the matter is, Prabhupada said he was born from a lotus flower. A lotus flower is material, and thus he took material birth in this material world, and as such could fall prey to the four deficiencies of any conditioned soul. The tendency to commit mistakes, to be illusioned, to have imperfect senses, and to cheat. Thus he was bewildered by the external energy of the Lord. His pride gave rise to his ability to fall victim to Maya. So, I had thought that his name is Aja, no doubt about that. He's said as being unborn, and I had thought, I remembered from the third canto, when we talk about the process of creation, that it was said the lotus was spiritual. But it isn't. It is material, as Srila Prabhupada says, and this is how it is material. I'm going to read just a couple, 3 verses, because it's wonderful. The subtle subject matter of creation on which the Lord's attention was fixed was agitated by the material mode of passion, and thus the subtle form of creation pierced through his abdomen. The subtle subject matter of creation came out of his body, piercing through this sum total of the fruitive activity of the living entities. The sum total of the karma of the living entities took the shape of the bud of a lotus flower generated from the personality of Vishnu. And by his supreme will, it illuminated everything like the sun and dried up the vast waters of devastation. Into that universal lotus flower, Lord Vishnu personally entered as the super soul. And when it was thus impregnated with all the modes of material nature, the personality of Vedic wisdom, whom we call the self-born, was generated. First line of the purport, and then I'll end. This lotus flower is the universal Virat form, or the gigantic form of the Lord in the material world. In other words, that lotus flower consists of everything that is in the universe. The universal form is a form of the Lord, but it's material. It's temporary. It's not the Satchidananda form of the Lord. So that's a material lotus that Lord Brahma was born from. And he was bewildered. Now, in this bewilderment, there's 4 things that Krishna accomplishes in the pastime. It's really wonderful because the more we hear about Krishna, you realize, oh my gosh, he can accomplish so many things with one activity. But it's stated by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur that Krishna, in order to show his ability to bewilder everyone, including Balaram, he engaged in this pastime of manifesting the cowherd boys and calves. Second reason, to fulfill the desires of the Gopas and the Gopis to have Krishna as their own son. For 1 year, they were serving intimately Krishna. They didn't even know it. But their love for their own children, which had been less than that of Krishna before this Leela, their love for their children became just as strong for them as it was for Krishna. And it was ever increasing. Ever fresh, ever new, as the question was asked. How is that possible? The Leelas. Had Parikshit heard these Leelas? It says he was tasting them as ever fresh, ever new. Janai Prabhu gave a wonderful answer that probably he had heard the pastimes of Krishna. For heaven's sake, he's the grandson of Yudhisthira. He himself had been personally delivered by the Lord when he was within the womb of his mother. And another aspect is that this Bhagavatam, the devotees never tire of hearing it. They relish it because it's ever fresh, it's ever new. So whether you've heard it one time or 1,000,000 times, it just gets better and better, deeper and deeper, more a source of inspiration for love and service to Krishna. So these cowherd boys, rather I should say men, and cowherd ladies, the elderly gopis, they wish that they could have Krishna non-stop in their home and serve him just like Mother Yasoda, Rohini, Nanda Maharaj, etc. And that desire was fulfilled for 1 year. 3, to bewilder Brahma and throw him into the ocean of dismay. Now, that's the pastime as it's unfolding. That's the main emphasis we've been talking about. And also 4, to show Brahma thousands of forms of Vasudeva, the object of his devotion. Krishna is going to show him, I am he who you worship. Little Krishna, I'm he. And as the pastime progresses, when Brahma came back after just a moment of his time, a year of our time here on earth, he saw the cowherd boys, the calves, and then Krishna manifested himself as Vishnu, as each and every boy. Each and every calf was an expansion of Krishna, a Vishnu expansion. All of them were substantially real, Satchidananda, like Krishna. For Krishna, that's no problem. You have the verse in the 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita that by a single fragment of myself, the super soul, I pervade this entire universe. Enter into every aspect of the universe. Or, what is it? 9th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, he says, all beings are within me, but I am not within them. Krishna is everywhere. Vasudeva, the wise people, the wise devotees, they understand this. Vasudevam sarvam iti. They understand. Andantarasta paramanuchantarastam. He's within my heart. He's outside. He's everywhere. So he knows everything. It's his energy. In one sense, it is him. So for him to reproduce the Vishnu forms to be expanded from him, and then to reproduce every anerism, every feature, every like and dislike of the cowherd boys, no problem. Completely fooled everyone, including Balaram. Amazing. Simply amazing. So those 4 things were accomplished. And in terms of his being attached to fruitive activity, what is this in relationship to Lord Brahma? In understanding the exalted nature of Lord Brahma, it's not that he simply takes the building blocks of matter and creates the forms, the bodies of all the living entities in this world. That's not all he does. In Sanatana Goswami, Brihat Bhagavatamrita, he explains that Lord Brahma, he wants every living entity to acquire transcendental knowledge and escape from this universe. Go back home to Godhead. And he sends qualified devotees from the higher planets down to this earthly planet and throughout the universe. He's propagating in the beginning. They're highly qualified devotees. The 4 Kumaras took a little time to gel into personalists, but they were, the personification of spiritual gyan, spiritual knowledge. And when they got the association of the Lord, then that spiritual knowledge fully blossomed into love for the Lord. Great devotees. They had their own sampradaya. All the sages
even the Prajapati. So Lord Brahma creates the bodies, creates the living entities, forms, and he gives them the Dharma, whereby the Vedic knowledge, where they can achieve the perfection of the human form of life. Go back home, back to Godhead. But he's attached. He has some attachment to this role as creator and the performance of his yajnas. Every day he's doing a yajna to Mahapurusha. In Satyaloka, there's an enclave, a spiritual Vaikuntha planet where Mahapurusha, thousand-armed Vishnu, resides. And he comes to Lord Brahma's court every day when Lord Brahma does the yajna. And he personally accepts the offerings of ghee, etc., the devotional services offered to Krishna. So we're so fortunate he's fixed in devotional service. You know, as exalted as he is, he's the most powerful, the most intelligent being in the planet. The original Adi Kavi, Adi Pandit, Adi Guru. That's he in this world. That's he. He possesses. He knows this universe as if it was a walnut sitting in his palm. He knows it through and through. He's so qualified. So he's constantly engaged in devotional service. And we have that verse, Yat Karosi, Yat Yasnasi, Yat Jahosi, Didasi Yat, that whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer, whatever you give away, do it as an offering to me. This is what Brahma does. And Srila Prabhupada presents this like, we should dovetail all our desires in Krishna consciousness. But that's not the highest standard of bhakti. When we're attached to something and we offer the results of that activity, Lord Chaitanya, when he heard it described by Ramananda Roy, he said, no, that's external. Can you bump it up? Let's hear some more, some deeper transcendental realities, higher spiritual truths. But we hear that verse, Srila Prabhupada gives it to us in such a way, this is perfection of pure Krishna consciousness. But by the process of performing our duties that we are attached to and offering the results, we're not going to enjoy them ourselves, but offering to Krishna, we become purified. And at some point, we're supposed to transcend that which we like and don't like, and the emphasis is supposed to be on what does Krishna like. Let me offer him the results, let me offer him the activity, let me offer myself, my complete self and all that I have. Self, body, mind, and words to Krishna. This life and forevermore. That's real Krishna consciousness. That's the most confidential knowledge. And then of the most confidential knowledge, we're talking here, Lord Brahma's tried to enter into Vraj, Vrindavan pastimes with Krishna and his associates. Not qualified. Now we're talking about the most confidential of activities. Who can understand that the Supreme Lord, who almost everyone of this world regard, the devotees of this world regard with awe and reverence, the omniscient, omnipresent, all-powerful, inconceivable Lord, Narayan, Vishnu. No, the Vrajvasis, they don't conceive of Krishna in that way. They see him doing all these incredible things, and they're bewildered. What's going on? And it's the curtain of Yogamaya. One definition, there's so many of them, but one definition of Yogamaya is that which manifests and unmanifests Krishna's pastimes and qualities, his glories. And Mahamaya means that which completely covers, the ignorance that separates the living entity from such glories. But Yogamaya can be a curtain that's pulled apart a little bit or completely shut. And for the most part, it's completely shut. But Krishna does these incredible things, and Prabhupada one time said, the Vrajvasis think, that's pretty impressive. I guess so, lifting a mountain, a little baby in the lap of the mother, killing a 12-mile-long demoness. These things are pretty impressive. But in their wildest dreams, they can't conceive that he's God. And they think all these demons, maybe because Krishna killed these demons in his past life, they've come back to try and kill him. But no, that can't be, because they never succeed. So it must be they're attacking him, very dangerous, very inauspicious, but because we are devotedly worshiping Narayan, the concept of God that most people of this world come up to, then Narayan's so kind that he is protecting Krishna at every moment. In fact, Gargamuni even said he would have qualities. Because of my devotion to Narayan, he would develop qualities equal to those of Narayan. So he's just coming right out and saying, basically, your son's Narayan, but he can't conceive of it. In fact, he'll tell Uddhava, you may have been trained by Brihaspati, the spiritual master of the demigods, but you don't know a dang thing about my son Krishna. You're going to try and tell me he's God? The boy I have to chastise, who's a thief, who's a liar, who engages in all kinds of activities that I really wish he wouldn't do that. But boy, is he wonderful. You don't know a dang thing about Krishna. So anyway, Lord Brahma is attached to the fruitive activities of his yajnas and to his position and to his concept of Krishna as God. And so he couldn't see. He didn't have the qualification. Only by coming in contact with the Vrajvasis and it being something that Krishna allowed to take place, Yoga Maya, Leela Shakti, they said, oh, Krishna, you want a little diversion this lunch, today during lunch? We got a perfect candidate to come participate and make it happen, Lord Brahma. Thinks he's the creator of the universe. Let's get him in on the action. He's qualified. He's wondering what's going on here. So for your pleasure, we'll arrange it. So anyway, that's there. And mental speculation, it was mentioned the other day. What's going to happen when Krishna can't find the cowherd boys? I loved it when Janani Bhatt said he went out looking for the calves, the calves, and then when he came back to where they were taking lunch, not only were the calves lost, but now the boys are gone. He goes, oh my God. I don't know if Krishna said, oh my God, but he said, how am I going to go home without the boys and the calves? Now I'm really. This is the mood of Yoga Maya and the wonderful, natural, human-like emotions that Krishna gets to enjoy in Vraj and only in Vraj. So Lord Brahma is speculating, what's he going to do? Is he going to find them first of all? I don't know. Maybe he'll ask me for help. Okay, Krishna, come on, I'll show you where they are. You can go to Vraj today. You can go, I forget what forest it's in, but I've been there to the cave where the cowherd boys and the calves were hidden. Come on, Krishna, I'll show you. I'll take you there. Or maybe he'll find them, but then what will he say? You know, how will he respond? And when he thought, oh my gosh, when he figures out I did it, what's he going to do to me if he does find them, if he does figure? So he very quickly ran back and that's when the total bewilderment took place. He was bewildered about Krishna to begin with, and then now let's just amp it up because they're there. Wait a minute, are they in the cave? Same boys, different boys? What's going on? And then Krishna manifests the boys and calves as Vishnus, and then Lord Brahma sees that each Vishnu is worshipped by all universal beings of a particular universe that Vishnu is in. All elements of the universe. In other words, he manifests an entire universe, including a Brahma with each Vishnu that had just previously been a boy and calf. And then they all disappear. So in terms of bewilderment, his head is exploding. It's like, I almost hesitate saying what my previous condition as a devotee as an example would be, like, wow, what a trip that was. It's like, but he was speculating, what will Krishna do? Will he come to me? Will he find him? This and that. We have to get rid of this attachment to fruitive activities and mental speculation. And what is it? Anyabhilashitashunyam jnanakarma jnanavartam anukuyena krishna anushilanam bhakti uttama. Pure bhakti. What to speak of Vraja bhakti, which is the third aspect. We have to give up attachment to Vishnu, our service to Krishna and awe and reverence. We have to progress through it, praying to take shelter of the Vrajvasis through our spiritual master, through Srila Prabhupada, with the ardent desire in our worship of Lord Chaitanya and the Sankirtan movement that we could be allowed to enter into the eternal service of Radha and Krishna and the Vrajvasis. One-liner that I saw at Srila, it's from Bhakti Vinod, a song of Bhakti Vinod Thakur's. If you want to become the eternal servant of Krishna, then begin practicing service to the family of Krishna. So through Vaishnavi Seva, we're all here in this movement of Lord Chaitanya's, this branch of ISKCON of Srila Prabhupada's. And we're meant to care about each other, not just about our own salvation, not just about our own Krishna consciousness. As Haridas Thakur, you could say the conclusion of this pastime, his ardent desire was that everyone be given the opportunity to take to the chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, and engage in the devotional service of the Lord. Those who are leaders especially, they have the responsibility to those who much is given, much is expected. To those of us who have received such mercy, we're meant to share it with others. And if we don't put ourselves in the shoes of others, trying to understand how they're suffering and how everything they're doing and expressing is a call for love. Everyone's looking for Krishna. What to speak of our family members, the devotees, they want to see Krishna. They want to serve Krishna. And if we don't put ourselves in their shoes, sometimes we might not overcome the limitations of our own smallness and our own level of advancement in Krishna consciousness. Too easy is the realization that I'm a devotee, I'm a senior devotee, I'm a manager or leader. It's too easy to become comfortable in such things, such situations, which are just temporary manifestations of our progress in devotional service. And instead to be given the gift of the mood of the spiritual master and to genuinely care not only about my own Krishna consciousness, about others. And Srila Prabhupada set that example throughout his entire preaching career. To the very end, the last verse of this chapter, sharing his Bhaktivedanta purports, showing us how to leave this world with the chanting of Hare Krishna and surrounded by devotees. Everything we are expected to do, have been asked to do, he did it. There was an example when I was talking about the unlimitedness of Krishna. Prabhupada said it's like the ocean. And you might not appreciate that example, but I was on a steamship crossing the Atlantic Ocean. It took 2 months, and it felt like I was in a matchbox in the middle of the ocean. I can't even imagine. But for 2 months, he was locked up like that on a tiny little matchbox, being tossed through the waves, although they were the quietest crossing, most peaceful crossing the captain and his wife had ever seen. But still, everything that we're going through, Srila Prabhupada has set the example how to persevere in Krishna consciousness. And even though this material world is intolerable, practically intolerable, Srila Prabhupada said, we have to tolerate. And the only way we're going to be able to tolerate is through chanting Hare Krishna, performing devotional service, serving the devotees, and helping those who aren't devotees yet. So I think I'll end there. Are there any questions or comments? Did we get a microphone back from our Prabhus? They didn't bring it, did they? That's my karma to teach me tolerance. Is there any questions or comments? Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki. Wait, I should say Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 8, Verse 9. The question is going to be about this, which is questions from Sri Parikshit. He wasn't born of a material source, but of the lotus flower, born of the coming in the abdomen of the Lord. Lord Brahma did not take birth from the womb of a mother, a material birth in that way. He came directly from the abdomen of the Supreme Lord. Bodily expansion, the lotus flower from the Lord. I knew I had remembered that. Thank you for comforting my false ego. But this is going to get me on a point that I wanted to make in class that I didn't explore sufficiently. I've learned a lot. In fact, that part about being unborn Aja, that was directly from that purport, obviously. And that the lotus flower, Srila Prabhupada saying, isn't material, it's an expansion of the Lord. This is an example. The more you learn, the more you realize you don't have a clue about Krishna's glories, unlimited glories. We don't. So when we think I've really mastered the Bhagavatam, or I've learned the slokas, or I've got so much experience and knowledge under my belt, Krishna's just waiting to slap us down. Oh yeah, you think you're something, huh? Just speak out loud so you can show what a fool you are. Srila Prabhupada is saying apparently two different things about the same lotus flower. It's spiritual, coming from the Lord. It's material because it's the Virata Rupa, the total sum of the fruitive activity of the living beings. So the pure devotees, the acharyas, they can utilize aspects of the absolute truth to make particular lessons or points to be learned by the devotees. And sometimes they appear contradictory. It's not that uncommon, actually, the more you read, the more you hear. Especially when you get into, after you've read Srila Prabhupada's books, and with his permission and blessings, you start reading other acharyas' books that he has said, yes, you should take shelter of the previous acharyas. You should serve the previous acharyas. We should aspire to develop a personal relationship with our previous acharyas through their teachings, through service to their teachings. You'll see there's so many different perspectives. In fact, tomorrow's purport is going to talk about Vishishta Dvait, Dvaita Dvait, Shuddha Dvait. I mean, there's 4 sampradayas talking about the same Lord and his energies in 4 different ways. Which one's right? Are any of them wrong? No, they're all right. So anytime any acharya in our sampradaya says something, he's correct. It's true. As Srila Prabhupada said, the Acharyas have no difference of opinion. They're all glorifying the Lord according to their understanding, according to their nature, and out of love. And Krishna, being unlimited, can unlimitedly reciprocate with every living entity. What to speak of every devotee, what to speak of every Acharya, in an incredibly wonderful way. And those who take shelter of such manifestations of the teachings of the Acharyas will benefit. I always like to put the caveat. The bottom line is Prabhupada Anugas will have the foundation of Srila Prabhupada's teachings. And he was especially empowered. In fact, it's part of the prediction of the glories of the Acharya who will come and preach to the Mlechas, is that he could take the absolute truth and express it in such a way that it would be understood as if simple, as if easy. I can do that. I can give one life to Krishna. I can go back home to Krishna Loka, Goloka Vrindavan. When we embraced this process with that desire, we had no idea how rare and how difficult that really is. In fact, the pure devotees like Lord Brahma, Prabhupada said he wasn't a pure devotee, but you quoted Jiva Goswami saying he is a prema bhakta. You know, which is he? He's both. It's ever increasing. And the pure devotees don't mind being the butt of an example where they look like they were a fool and even fell down. Lord Shiva was proud that I'd been defeated by Mohini Murti. Man, how embarrassing was that, running around in front of the sages, completely losing it. But he was proud to be defeated by his master, just like Srila Prabhupada. I was very proud to be defeated by my guru. I accepted Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur as my guru that night. So you see apparent contradictions, they're all right, and you try to harmonize them, or when we say something different than Srila Prabhupada, we need to say the reference of which Acharya is saying something different. And in terms of presentation, Srila Prabhupada makes it the most simple, and we might even say, as a follower, most sublime. We present it the way he presents it, even if some devotees want to say that's time, place, and circumstance. He didn't give us the real truth. Whatever it may be, one who remains chaste to Srila Prabhupada will be blessed and delivered by Srila Prabhupada. So it may appear different, but it's from a different perspective or a different angle. Both are true. Which lesson do we need to learn? Second question? My Prabhus are going, thank God. Okay, yesterday we were talking about where are the real cowherd boys and calves gone? And in the what purport? Ten, 14, 42. What's he say? 1442. Okay, I don't have that in this book. But no, it's all right. What's he say? Short and sweet. According to Srila Sanatana Goswami, the calves and boys remained in the forest and on the river bank, respectively, for 1 full year. Huh? Lord Brahma did not actually take them away to another place. They're off playing. I guess they're totally absorbed for 1 year. by the Lord's omnipotent illusory energy, the gopis and other residents of Vrindavan did not notice the calves and boys, nor did the calves and boys notice the passing of years' time, or feel any hunger, cold, or thirst. All this was part of the pastimes arranged by the Lord's illusory potency. Krishna Leela Ki. Oh my gosh, that's like, who was it? Which one of you said Lord Nityananda? He and the cowherd boys, his 12 gopas and the village boys joined in. For 2 months they went on, not eating or sleeping, just wandering here and there, absorbed in Harinam, and they didn't even realize it. Everybody was absorbed in remembrance and service and love for Krishna. Is that good enough? I just have to read the rest that I see here because this is coming up. I can't wait to hear that. Okay, that's from Sanatan Goswami. That's what you wanted to hear? Okay, I'll check it out at home. Thank you for bringing that up. So that's not a question, I hope. Is there a question to that, or it's a statement you're sharing? Because yesterday, Jalangi Mataji said, oh, Jiva Goswami and the Ananda Vrindavan Champu, is that what you said? Said that Krishna kept the cowherd boys close by, sleeping in his Yoga Maya potency, so he wouldn't feel their separation. As Lord Balaram was under the same Yoga Maya, that was the first of the aims of Krishna. Let me show I can bewilder everyone, even my brother Balaram. So Balaram didn't feel their separation either because he was under the same influence of that Yoga Maya. And here, Sanatan Goswami says they were just playing off in the forest on the riverbank, so absorbed as were their parents in their services. A year went by like a day. It just gets deeper and sweeter and sweeter and deeper. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you, Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, all followers of Srila Prabhupada. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ke, Srila Prabhupada ke, Samaveda Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ke, Lord Brahma ke, Guru